Hello, welcome to Drawing with Bubbles. Today I am drawing Evan Hansen from the musical called Dear Evan Hansen. So I am drawing him from actually a time that takes place before the play, like the time during the play, I think. So it's the summer before the play starts, and he's climbing the tree, and I won't say anything else in case you haven't listened to the music or heard it. But yeah, in case you were wondering, that's where it's taking place. Anyways, you could just see I did the thumbnail and then I made it larger. Now I'm working on the sketch. You might notice that the picture looks a little bit funky and not quite like my normal style, but I've been practicing a lot using references, and I thought I'd try it out with the full illustration, and this is, the only time that I have for full illustration, so yeah, if you notice it's not like my style or like you don't like it compared to my normal style, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to keep trying this out, but hopefully you like it. So, one thing I had a little bit of trouble with is that, you might have noticed, probably, hopefully, that Evan Hansen is a guy, and you also maybe probably noticed that I draw mostly girls on my channel, and so I'm not very experienced with drawing guys, but the main thing that gets me is eyelashes. Like, obviously, both genders have eyelashes, but when I draw guys, I just don't draw eyelashes because otherwise my guy looks like a girl, and that's an issue, but hopefully it's not too noticeable in this. So now I am working on the line art. I have been for a little bit, and I used thinner line art than usual on the inside and thicker line art than usual on the outside, and I like how it looks, like the effect that it gives. I did use a different line art style, and it wasn't completely on purpose, but for the face I did, and it's I don't even know how to describe it, but it's different, and it includes a few more broken lines, so I couldn't use the paint bucket tool for that, unfortunately, but I like it. Now I'm working on drawing the tree, and if you're wondering how I did the tree bark, I was just looking at a reference image while I was doing it, so basically what I picked up from the reference is that it's just a bunch of squiggly lines, so there you go. That's my super in-depth explanation of that. It was fun though, just squiggly lines, and it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. It looked like maybe I actually kind of knew what I was doing, which is what I go for, even if that's not true at all. I tried to use those lines to work with this perspective a little bit, like the tree that Evan is on himself. As it goes down into the distance, you can see all the way to the bottom, the lines get closer together, so then, even though I wasn't doing any shading on the background, maybe it would give more of an illusion of actual space there. So I am about finished up with the line art. I'm just doing a bit more in the background with some trees and extra leaves, just to, flesh out the background. So, yeah, that, it's pretty repetitive because you've seen me do it before, because the whole background is just full of trees. I've noticed, actually, I've drawn, trees on my channel a lot, but I don't know. They just called me. Anyways, I'm starting on the coloring right now. I did try a little bit of a different style. I mean, I shaded the same way I normally do, but the colors I use are different. So I actually used two different shading colors, a very cool one, like a purple tone, and a more actual, realistic skin tone. And I just combined them, and I don't know how that works. I kind of just made it up, but I like how it looks. The reference image I was going off actually had a fair amount of blue light on one side of his face, and I understand that's just because the picture was stage lighting, but I liked how it looks, so that's why I tried to combine the two colors for this one. Now I am working on coloring in and adding the patterns to Evan's shirt, and looking at that, it's not my proudest work. I really need to learn how to draw lines on shirts, but the shading I like. So the shading on a separate layer, I just chose a darker purple color, and I colored it and shaded it, and then I set the layer on multiply, and then it made this really rich saturated shadow that covered all the stripes and stuff without looking super weird. So That's nice. I always like using multiply as a tool when like doing patterns and stuff. I wouldn't generally use it for other shading because I like to experiment with tones more, but it's really handy for more complicated designs on things. So I talked my way right through all the interesting coloring, and now I'm just working on coloring trees and stuff. I guess I could explain that. Like I mentioned with the line art, I couldn't use the fill bucket tool, but this line art is for a different reason on the trees. All the little pieces of bark, I didn't think to do that on a separate layer, so I would either have to fill that all in with the fill bucket tool or color it in, or do what I actually did and just use like the polygon selection tool or whatever it's called, and then just select the area and then, just like fill in whatever small parts I might have missed while I was doing that. And it took a while, more than I would have liked. I should remember to do it on a separate layer from now on, but it worked and it got done faster than just manually coloring it because I'm pretty slow at that when using my tablet. And I am about done with this coloring because, like I mentioned before, I didn't do any shading on the background besides just like really subtle shading on the grass down below him. So that was very simple to do, very easy, just how I like it. But I've still been holding strong. I've still been doing backgrounds, and I feel like I'm actually maybe getting somewhere with it, so that's nice. Now I'm working on coloring the liner, which I loved because this piece I subconsciously, like I didn't really notice, but it's a lot of pastel colors. Besides right now you can see his shirt. I didn't notice it at the time, but it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the colors. So after I finished recording, I noticed that and changed it. So in the finished illustration when I show it later, you'll see that. But for now, it just kind of looks weird. Yeah, well, you can see it right there. Here's the finished illustration. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye!